Hello, and welcome to Azril. Today, we'll be covering the Assassination Rogue again. I'd like to apologize, I actually made this video already. I had an old build rogue, so I had some problems. Abilities weren't working as they were supposed to, or were they even working at all, or even existed. Garrote apparently is usable out of stealth. I was notified of this in my previous video. I logged on to my rogue. Strange, my Garrote doesn't work like this. It just requires stealth. So I had to delete the rogue, remake the rogue. As you can see, here's a brand new Satsu. And I'm here to show you Assassination Rogue again. So Assassination Rogues have changed a tiny bit, not that much. Pretty much the same abilities, roguish. No real new ones other than this gimmick of a deadly throw and throw combined with outbreak is like from DK. It just applies your poisons and it gives you a combo point from a distance. It can obviously be used single target, melee to melee, maybe in some environments, some different situations, but I wouldn't really look much into that. You got this Crimson Vial, which is just another defensive cooldown, and then you have Kingsbane here, which is from your artifact. Now don't be confused, yes, I am using Death from Above. Let's get into the talents. Now I've gone with Hemo. Yes, Hemo is for Assassination Rogues now. It increases the bleed damage by 30% for 20 seconds and it awards a combo point. Hemo has two benefits. Its bleeding buff and the fact that it can be used as a combo point generator to fill in that one combo point gap. Now that's great, but at the moment, Hemo does not proc venomous wounds. Just to re-educate you what venomous wounds is, it's just when you do bleed damage to a poison target, you get energy back. Elaborate planning, however, wouldn't surprise me this is actually the way to go. Why I say that? Well, finishing moves granting 20% increased damage for 6 seconds. Well, End Venom plays like that somewhat. When you End Venom for 5 combo points, you get a 6-second window for 30% more poison increase chance. And there is something else that also layers with this, which I will get into later on. So I wouldn't be surprised elaborate planning is the way to go. Now Master Poisoner. Now this one is a tricky devil. This isn't single target. I can tell you that. You will never use this for single target. You will actually use this for AoE. You don't want to have as much poison damage ticking on everything around you. And there's something that emphasizes this greatly. And it's actually a Phantom Knives artifact trait, which I will show you in a moment. Now the 30 roll I'm actually disappointed with. I was assuming the new rogue specs, they would split some of the theme away. Move stealth away from assassination. Let them keep it. I'm not saying remove stealth. But the fact is you have a 30 roll that emphasizes stealth. Now this could just be quality of life or maybe just to keep the stealth theme there, but it could do something else because right now it's the same thing. You move faster, you deal more damage with Night Stalker. You retain 3 seconds of using your stealth abilities. Now you don't really have many stealth abilities. Sorry, I don't even have cheap shot with my bars. You got cheap shot, so yeah, I guess subterfuge could be nice to chain cheap shot, I guess. Something like that. But why would you? The double silence again from Garrote. Or not, because guess what? It has a cooldown. So there's not really any ability here that really works with stealth properly. Guess you could double sap. You could double pickpocket. But that jokes aside, I don't really see the 30 roll too much to be heavily invested into. So I've gone with Shadow Focus just to make the rotation, you know, feel fluid somewhat. Night Stalker, I wouldn't be surprised Night Stalker is actually the way to go. So it's either a toss up between the two. I don't really have great stat diversity. As you can see, my stats are everywhere. That's a lot of versatility. I'd like some more haste to be fair. Next roll. I've gone with Vigor. Now, why I went with Vigor was, the pure reason was I went with Death from Above. I needed that extra energy regen. Now this is just a combination that I've gone with. It could obviously be Deeper Stratagem with Venom Rush, or hell, it could even be Anticipation, and I wouldn't be surprised Anticipation creeps its head back up, because it's always been such a great talent. And to be honest, I'm kind of sad that it's not baseline for rogues. It really should be. It should be what rogues are about, managing combo points. And I'm quoting a blue, I'm pretty sure that's what they said in Warlords of Draenor. Managing combo points is what made a rogue. So Anticipation should be baseline. It should never be a talent. And that was kind of one of the issues with rogues themselves in Warlords of Draenor. And then you have Deeper Stratagem, which is just a super version of your finishes. 6 combo points, 20% increased damage. Not impressed, but it's flat. It is what it is. The 60 roll is still the same. Internal bleeding, still the same on the 75. Prey on the weak, I just take that because I always take that. But Fuggy here, this could actually be quite convenient. You find a target in raid, you put your garrote on it, that target dies towards the end of your garrote, hell, it might even die inside your garrote. Get your garrote cooldown back, 15 seconds. Guess that's kinda nice, if you can't stun anything. 90 roll. Now, it's a toss-up between Agonizing Poison, which is the non-periodic poison build. You will have no poisons that deal damage. This poison will not replace deadly poison, but you will use this over deadly poison, and it will just increase your direct damage and your bleeding damage. But the problem is, it then destroys the synergy of Envenom and Elaborate Planning, because you won't really require that instant application increase. So, I don't know. Not so sure. Agonizing Poison and this will probably never work together. Could be that just for the pure sake of having extra mutilate damage and whatnot, it could be the case, but I just don't see it. So I've gone with Alacrity. Let's just go with something I'm more comfortable with. Agonizing Poison could obviously change. Alacrity, it is what it is. Extra haste, I kind of really needed that haste, so that's really why I went with it. Blood Sweat, however, is kind of cool. If this actually was to work in an environment, let's take Manoroth in Hellfire Citadel. You have your Rupture, you have your Hemo, you have your Garrote on Manoroth. Now the imps just spawned, and let's just say some of those bleeds jumped to an additional target. And you've just Fan of Knives. So you've applied your deadly poison to all of those imps. And for every extra imp you have, you've got that Venomous Wounds ticking. Maybe even Venomous Rush to buff the Venomous Wounds. And you got so much energy, you just pumping those mutilates into Manoroth, you're just destroying him. Full uptime Envenom, as if you're best in slot geared end of expansion. Like just going full ham into the boss. So Blood Sweat has that nice niche to it. So don't discredit it too quick. Venom Rush. 3 additional energy when Venomous Wounds tick. So by default, Venomous Wounds is actually 7 energy. Venomous Rush just makes it 10. Cool, I guess. 3 extra energy. Quite literally. Mark for Death, still Mark for Death. I guess you could use this on priority targets. Example, Manoroth, maybe? No? Let's just say Archimonde. Archimonde, Doomfire. Mark of Death, Envenom. Doomfire dies like 5 seconds later. Get that Mark of Death back. Put on another ad, Envenom, etc, etc. You could just use it anywhere, really. Dungeons, wherever. I'm pretty sure this is a really well used skill in PvP as well. I've gone with Death from Above. Now, some people might call me crazy for doing this, but I feel like Death from Above is pretty good right now. The 50% stronger effect it has at the bottom there for the Envenom is really, really cool. So what it means by that is, if I Envenom naturally, I get 6 seconds of the poison application increase. But if I death from above, it then goes up to 9 seconds. And if you went deeper stratagem, this would actually go even higher. It'd be 7, it'd be like, wow, like 10 seconds ish. It'd be like a decimal, but I'm pretty sure they should round it up to be 11. It'd be about 10ish seconds of increased poison application. Shame that it does not work for elaborate planning. I guess it'd be too OP. But it is what it is. So I've gone with a death from above as like a little mini cooldown. But I have a problem with death from above, and I've always had a problem with death from above. It's death from above. You are so vulnerable. You have no control of your character inside this animation. There should be some kind of avoidance. I don't know, maybe death from above should activate feint even, or bake elusiveness into death from above somewhat, like, you know, make it so you take 5% less damage while you're doing death from above. Like, it's very dangerous to death from above in some raiding environments. But that's the talents, and that's kind of what I'm going to go with. Towards the end, I will show you agonizing poison and how it plays out. Let's go over the artifact traits. Now, I made sure of this when I remade my rogue. Assassin's Blades is not takeable. I cannot put any points into this. It just won't let me get this. And I don't have that kind of artifact power either. And I don't plan on grinding it. So you start off with Kingsbane. Now as you can see, Kingsbane is on a 45-second cooldown. It just deals nature damage. And it causes the target to deal nature damage over time. Now every time you do damage with deadly or wound poison, that target receives 20% increased damage on Kingsbane. Now, I hope this does work with agonizing poisons. It really should. So I hope they update it to make it so. So, to pretty much, you know, just plan your Envenom to be after your Kingsbane, so you get that like instant application chance proc. So you get like extra deadly poisons applying to the target. So you're just like constantly triggering the 20% increase from Kingsbane. I guess you can imagine I'm dealing 15% more mutilate damage. Toxic Blades, it's just flat 10% Envenom, 3 out of 3. Activating Vendetta refills all your energy. That's kind of cool, I guess. Buffed and Vendetta, kind of needed. Shadow Walker, reduce the cooldown of Sprint by 10 seconds. Probably hands down the best talent in this whole artifact tree. It's just crazy. I've gone from a 1-minute sprint to a 50-second sprint. Like, what more could you ask for? 20-second cooldown reduction. Bag of Tricks. When you envenom a target, you have a chance to smash a giant vial of poison at a target's location, creating a pool of acidic death that deals 10% damage to all enemies within it. Damn, that's cool, and it looks cool as well, and it works in AoE and cleave, so props to Envenom buff. Master Alchemist, increase the damage done by deadly and wound poison by 15%. This doesn't really work with agonizing poison, because agonizing poison doesn't really deal any damage, so help something. Then we have Master Assassin here. Reduce the cooldown of Vendetta by 30 seconds. So Vendetta is now from 2 minutes to 1.5 minutes. 1.5. Gushing Wound. 10% rupture increase. Wow. Amazing. Blood of Assassinated. When you rupture, it has a chance to put this debuff that increases the damage of that rupture for 10 seconds by 100%. I guess that's nice. Free. Works. Does it whenever it chooses to do it. Fade into the Shadows. Reduce the cooldown of Cloak of Shadows by 10 seconds. Whoa, that's nice. Makes it a 1.33 minute cooldown. I love these 1.33 minute cooldowns. Shadow Swiftness. When you Shadow Step, you gain evasion for 2 seconds. Now, I'm not going to troll on this. I actually think this is actually kind of good. Let's take there was, I can't remember his name. Let me just quickly get the boss. It was one of the raid testing bosses where he charged and you'd had to share the damage with your raid. Ursop, that's the one. You could actually dodge his attack, so using Shadow Step to avoid incoming damage is kind of cool. So don't knock that. That 2-second window could save your life with 100% dodge. Balanced Blades. Increase the critical strike chance by Mutilate by 6%. Yeah, I'm actually all for these crit increasing talents, but they kind of cause an issue. You then devalue the stat you're given. So I'm not saying crit is horrible for assassination. I'm just saying too much of this is going to make crit less of a value. But everyone's like, oh, but the other stats increase in value. Well, yeah, but there's not really that many stats. You have crit, haste, burst, and mask. And I don't like versatility. Hands down, I really don't like it. Poison Knives. Fan of Knives causes any target hit with your deadly poison to take 6% of the remaining deadly poison damage instantly. Now this is what I meant before with Master Poisoner. 10% increased damage, so if it does 100k, you've now made it 110k, and you've made that 6% of that 110k hitting all those targets instead of just doing 6% of 100k. This is what I meant by AoE talent. Could work in single, I guess, but AoE talent. Surge-Toxins. Offensive and finishing moves increase the damage you deal by 10%. Wow. So I guess you get some extra poison damage here. But, again, Agonizing Poison does not work with that. So 1-2 traits already do not work sorry, with that trait and Agonizing Poison. Serrated Edge. Increase the critical strike chance of Rupture by 10%. Again, flat 10% increased crit chance. And then we have From the Shadows. When you declare your vendetta target, a barrage of poisoned daggers will strike the target every 1 second. So again, you don't even have to pay attention to this. Your daggers will fly out and just nuke the target. Nothing to it. Sorry, my voice is going. So far, my impression is everything is very flat. There's hardly any interaction here except for the Shadow Step talent and Kingsbane. I guess you could say Bag of Tricks is nice. Again, you could look out for Blood of the Assassinated, I guess. But other than that, not really. Urge to Kill, so you just made Vendetta an energy potion and a damage buff. Okay. That's pretty much it. So I would like to see some more proactive stuff, some things more to look out for, because as it is, it's kind of plain. So let's get down to how it plays out. As you can see, I'm in stealth. You might not have noticed because I'm in stealth. How are you going to play this out? So you're obviously going to open on your target with a Mutilate. You're going to then do your Garrote, then you're going to do your Hemo. Now I've got my 5 combo points. I'm going to put my Rupture, then I'm going to do my Kingsbane. And I'm going to climb myself up there. I'm going to do my Death from above. And then what I'm then going to do is ignore the fact that I have Vendetta. I'm going to use it, then pop my End Venom with then Vendetta. And then use Vendetta as that energy refiller rather than at the start. Now you will still clip your potion like this. So I know it doesn't look like it to be the most optimal. But the problem I have with this is you don't want to overcap your energy straight away just for the Vendetta buff. You kind of then make your Vendetta energy trait kind of useless. So either they change that, or that's kind of how it's going to be. Now, just to show you again, Death from above. Watch my End Venom application time. Death from above, and then bam, you have that increased End Venom window. Instead of it being 6 seconds, it's now gone up to 8. But that's only when you def from above. So that's going to be what? Every second end venom you're going to want to def from above. I guess depends on your energy regen. You might do it every third. And it plays out fine. No problems. But then let's see the Venom Rush. If you go with Venom Rush, it's just then you have a lot more energy coming from the spec. There's nothing really more to it. See, the def from above kind of like makes you want to look out for something else to press rather than just the same 2 buttons and then just keeping up your dots. But it is what it is. I did promise I would show Agonizing Poison. So let's just quickly put that on. Come on, Agonizing Poison. Alright. So there we go. Agonizing Poison is going to remove Deadly Poison. So Agonizing Poison doesn't deal any actual damage, right? See, it's just auto attacks, miss, miss, miss. That's just mutilates hitting. It doesn't actually deal any direct damage. So it's going to be up there full time. Sorry, I'm just like trying to clear my throat here. Sorry about that. You're going to get it up to 5 and then it's just going to stay like that throughout the whole fight. It's never going to go. But then here's the problem, and again I'm stressing this out, because it does not deal any nature damage, it then doesn't benefit with your end venom. So they kind of need to fix this. Agonizing Poison is a great idea. Just make the synergy work with other mechanics that already exist for assassination, like end venom, and then we're in business. But then at the same time, anything that increases poison damage, it doesn't apply to Agonizing Poison. So they really need to invest some synergy into this, and then you have yourself 2 playstyles: periodic nature, direct damage, and just bleeds. That is cool. I think that is really cool, and I like that. Again, sorry for the remake, sorry for my voice going. This was Assassination Rogues. You got any suggestions? Please do throw them in the comment section below. There isn't that many specs that I can actually cover at the moment. I really spent like an hour last night making sure the specs that I wanted to show you were available and ready. But they are available. They're just not good. It's just I don't think this is what you want to see. I can show you broken specs, I can show you stuff that don't work, but then I'm just making you a video of bug reports and what's wrong with the class. But I feel like Assassination Rogue is about 80% there, and that's kind of like where I draw the line. So if you got any requests, like something you want to see, I'm up for doing that, but please be patient with me. I will show you every DPS spec available in the alpha, and I will also show you it again in the beta. This is Azril. Have a nice day. Azril out.